So what do you do if you are personally harmed and you have to take time off of work and it is emotionally, mentally, and physically taking a toll on you, maybe your friends and your family? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out right here on Know Your Worth, our special series with our featured guest expert, Todd Bresney, who is the owner of Kanoski Bresney and also a trial attorney. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you, Laura.
Todd, everywhere we look, billboard, TV, we hear it all the time. What does personal injury mean in legal terms?
Well, that's a good question. Legally, no matter where you're at in the United States, what it references is generally personal harm. That's a harm that's specifically caused to you by usually careless acts of another person or another company. So in context, it references such things as pain, suffering, loss of a normal life, disability, disfigurement, out-of-pocket expenditures, and future things of the same sort.
Why should we care about compensation? We know our worth, and it's probably not the most important thing when you're in such dire pain.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And what we're really dealing with is liability insurance industry. The fact of the matter is this: you're entitled to full and fair compensation for things that are invaluable, things that you can't really put a price tag on. And money won't make it right, but it does make a difference in people's lives because it does one of the few things. One, it's your constitutional right when somebody takes something from you that they shouldn't have. And when we're talking about something as valuable as our time, as our health, as our pocketbook. The other thing having full and fair compensation does, it stops unsafe acts from happening in the future.
Give us an example.
One of the ones that I have is back in 1991, the federal regulation was passed that required all railroads to make sure that there was fall protection devices above rail lines. And one of the things you may not know is you have grain inspectors go up on these very high rail cars that we've all seen, 50 feet in the air. And they have long probes and they got to stick them into the grain and they sample them and they use their kits to make sure that the grain is safe. Right. Well, there is no teeth to that regulation. So the railroads just didn't put them in. Problem is then we get this young father of three go up to the top and high winds. He was maimed pretty badly. And so one of the things we did after we got him full and fair compensation is we also mandated that the railroad install those fall protection devices on all of their institutions throughout that state. And they did. And now grain safety inspectors have harnesses that have been in place in the construction industry for decades before this, so that if they do get blown off, they're hanging and they're safe and they're not harmed.
So know your rights, basically, because you're doing a service not only for yourself, but for the greater good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it goes back to what I said before. You know, insurance companies, they make money on delaying payment, denying payment, or not even offering enough payment. And everyone who doesn't get legal advice when they get hurt because of the careless acts of another, they might be saving themselves a little bit of a heartache, but the insurance companies are making billions of dollars.
So if somebody's out there right now listening to us and they've been personally harmed, what would you recommend as their first step?
Well, the first step is to look out for themselves. I mean, they obviously should go and get treated, make sure they're seeing the right doctors that are helping them get better. The other thing that usually happens, and I've seen this a lot of times, is that even though the person's in the hospital, it's not unusual for an insurance adjuster to knock on the door and try to take a recorded statement. Don't let them do that. What they should do is reach out to a legal representative, somebody who knows what they're doing with personal injury and understand their rights. And I'll tell you, usually guys that do what I do or gals that do what I do, we do it for free right up front. It doesn't cost any money to talk to a person and let them know what their rights are. And to understand, you're dealing with a business, not a person. The person who represents that business might be a very nice person, but the business itself doesn't have to have ethics. The rules, by law, they don't have to have a heart, and they don't have one. Their whole goal is to make money.
Right. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us again today, Todd Bresney. Where can people find you as a trial attorney?
BresneyLaw.com, BresneyLaw.com, or 888, the letter U, the word count, and the number 2.
If you like this episode and you want more, subscribe. Please rate it and share it with your friends and family. We'd appreciate that. And thank you for your time with us today.
You bet, Laura. Thank you.